clock hit midnight. The apartment felt too quiet, except for the soft hum of Lena's phone lighting up on the table. "Still awake?" I asked, half smiling. "Yeah," she said, eyes on her screen. "Just finishing something for work. Evan again?" I tried to sound casual. She looked up. "Why would you say that?" I shrugged. "You've been texting him a lot lately." Her lips tightened. "He's helping with the campaign." "Don't start this again." "I didn't start anything," I said, forcing a laugh. "Just talking." "Well, don't. I'm tired." The way she said that, sharp, final, made the air feel heavy. I sat beside her. "You used to talk to me when you were tired," she sighed. "Aiden, please." "Not tonight," I leaned back. "You said that yesterday, I know." "Because it's true. I'm exhausted." Silence wrapped around us. The only sound was the buzzing of her phone. "Is he funny?" I asked quietly. She frowned. "Who?" "Evan," she groaned. "God, not this again. Can you stop being paranoid for once?" I swallowed. "I just miss you." Her face softened for a second, then turned blank. "You're imagining things. I'm right here, but she wasn't, not really." I could feel her mind somewhere else, chasing a laugh that wasn't mine. "Remember when you used to fall asleep on my chest?" I said. She didn't answer. "I'd talk about nonsense, space, dreams, dumb movies, and you'd fall asleep before I finished." "Yeah," she said flatly. "Things change, Aiden," I nodded. "Yeah, they do." Her phone buzzed again. She turned it face down, too slow, like she knew I noticed. "Who is it?" "Work." "Right, at midnight." She stood up. "I can't do this right now." "Then when?" "When things calm down." "When you're done with him?" She froze. For a second I saw something in her eyes, fear or guilt, but it vanished fast. "You're being ridiculous," she said. "He's just a friend. Do you still love me?" The words came out smaller than I wanted. She blinked. "Why would you even ask that?" "Because you don't say it anymore." "I don't have to say it every day." "You used to." She rolled her eyes. "You're impossible." "No," I whispered. "I'm just scared." She exhaled hard, running a hand through her hair. "Aiden, I've got a lot going on. Work's crazy, my mom's sick, I'm tired. Can you just not add more stress?" I nodded slowly. "Sure, sorry. I didn't mean to be anything." "Good," she said softly, already picking up her phone again. I stared at her fingers typing, the way her lips curved slightly. I hadn't seen her smile at me like that in weeks. "What's funny?" I asked. "Nothing. Just a meme." "Show me." She pulled the phone away. "You wouldn't get it." That hurt more than it should have. I stood up. "You know, it's weird. I used to be the one making you laugh." "You still do sometimes," she said, not looking up. "When?" She hesitated. "I don't know, recently." "Name one time." Her silence said everything. I walked to the window. The city lights looked like dying stars. "I'm not trying to fight," I said quietly. "I just want to understand what changed." She sighed again, tired of the conversation, tired of me. "Nothing changed. You're just overthinking everything." "Maybe," I said, "but overthinking means I still care." That made her pause. "Aiden, what?" "Don't make this harder than it has to be." I turned around. "Has to be? What does that mean?" She opened her mouth, closed it, then whispered, "Nothing." "Forget it. No, tell me. What has to be hard?" Her phone buzzed again. She glanced down. "Go to bed, please." "You didn't answer." "Because there's nothing to answer." She snapped. "You keep turning everything into drama." "I'm trying to save us," I said. "Maybe we don't need saving." That line cut through me. "Do you even hear yourself?" I asked. "Yes, do you?" I stared at her. The woman who once held my face like I was something precious now looked at me like I was a burden. "Say it," I whispered. "Just say you don't love me anymore." She looked away. "You're being childish." "Then prove me wrong." She stood still, hands trembling slightly, eyes glistening under the light. Then she said, "Good night, Aiden. Not I love you." "Just good night," I laughed quietly, more to myself than her. "Yeah, good night." She went to the bedroom, door closing softly behind her. I stayed in the living room, staring at the faint glow under the door. I could hear her voice a few minutes later, low and muffled. "Hey," she whispered. A pause, then a laugh. The kind I hadn't heard in months. My stomach twisted. I told myself it could be her sister. Or a friend. Or anyone. But deep down, I knew. I walked to the table, looked at her phone, and saw his name on the screen. Evan. My chest tightened, breath shaky. I didn't pick it up. I didn't need to, because that night when she stopped saying I love you, I understood something cruel and simple. Sometimes love doesn't die loudly, sometimes it just stops showing up. And when it's gone, silence becomes the loudest thing you've ever heard. Her breathing was soft, steady, and innocent. The kind of sound that should bring peace. It didn't. Lena was asleep beside me, phone glowing faintly on the nightstand. The name Evan lit up the screen. Again. I stared at it until the light dimmed. My chest felt tight. My mind whispered, "Don't look." But my hand moved anyway. I picked it up, thumb hovering. "Just one look," I whispered. "Just one." Her voice, half asleep, cut through the silence. "What are you doing?" "Nothing," I said quickly, setting it back. "Just checking the time." She mumbled something and turned away. When her breathing evened again, I sat there in the dark, staring at the phone like it was a live wire. By morning, I'd convinced myself it meant nothing. By night, I knew I was lying. "Hey," I said that evening as she chopped vegetables. "You've been talking to Evan a lot lately." She didn't look up. "We're planning a client event." "At midnight?" She frowned. "You're doing it again." "Doing what?" Acting suspicious. "He's my coworker." "Coworker," I repeated, tasting the word like poison. "You smile when he texts." "That's insane, Aiden." "Maybe," I said quietly. "But I'm not imagining how you look at your phone." She dropped the knife, exhaling sharply. "You know what? I can't keep explaining every message. Either trust me or don't." "I'm trying." "Then stop digging for ghosts." She left the kitchen. The sound of her door closing felt louder than any argument. That night, I couldn't sleep. Her laugh echoed from earlier in the day. Soft, effortless, not meant for me. I sat at my desk, staring at our shared laptop. I opened the browser, typed "Best Phone Backup Sync App." My fingers trembled. "This is stupid," I whispered. "You're being paranoid." But I clicked download anyway. The app promised to sync voice and message data for peace of mind. Peace of mind. I almost laughed. When the sync completed, I connected her phone. I told myself it was just to confirm she wasn't hiding anything, but I knew it wasn't about proof. It was about control, the kind you chase when you've already lost it. 2 days later, I saw the first file appear. Voice, 2025-05-14 MP3. My heart hammered. I clicked it. "He's sweet, but I can't talk to him anymore," Lena's voice said. I froze. Evan's voice followed, smooth and comforting. "You don't owe him emotional babysitting, Lena. You deserve someone who listens." "He used to," she said softly. "Now he just worries too much," Evan chuckled. "Because he knows he's losing you," Lena laughed. The same laugh she used to give me when we first met. My throat went dry. I pressed pause. I stared at the screen. My reflection looked hollow in the dark glass. I whispered, "You said you loved me." The words sounded small, pathetic. I pressed play again. "Lena, he doesn't get me anymore." "Evan, with you it's just easy." "Evan, that's because I see you." Lena, "Yeah, you do." I stopped the recording. I didn't move for a long time. Then I opened another file. This one started with laughter. Lena, "If Aiden heard us, he'd freak." Evan, "Then don't tell him." Lena, "You make that sound simple." Evan, "It is. You just haven't let go yet." Something inside me cracked. Morning sunlight hit the curtains. I hadn't slept. The laptop was still open, a dozen recordings playing on repeat. Lena walked in, rubbing her eyes. "Did you stay up all night?" "Couldn't sleep," she smiled faintly. "You think too much." "Yeah," I said. "That's what everyone says." She kissed my cheek before leaving for work. The touch felt like betrayal disguised as love. When the door shut, I sat there staring at the laptop. I hit play again. Evan, "He doesn't deserve how patient you've been, Lena." "He's not a bad guy, Evan, but he's not your guy anymore." Her soft sigh came next, and that was it. I paused the recording, my pulse pounding in my ears. I whispered, Not your guy anymore. I didn't cry. I wanted to, but the tears refused. Instead, I just felt blank. That evening, Maya called. "You sound dead," she said immediately. "I'm fine." "No, you're not. What happened?" I hesitated. "If I told you I installed something on Lena's phone, would you think I'm crazy?" "Probably," she said. "But go on." I heard her talking to someone. Evan. She said she's happier with him. Maya went silent. "Oh, Aiden. I thought maybe I was imagining things." "But I heard it. Did you confront her?" "No. Why not?" "Because if I say it out loud, it becomes real," she sighed. "You can't live like that. You can't keep pretending. I'm not pretending. I'm just observing." "That's worse," she said softly. "You're torturing yourself." I closed my eyes. "I just wanted to understand what went wrong." "Sometimes people lie, Aiden. That's what went wrong." Her words hurt more than the recordings. That night, I sat alone again. The apartment felt heavier. I pressed play one last time. Lena. He's too sensitive. Always asking if I'm okay. Evan. Because he's scared you'll leave. Lena. Maybe I already have. The recording ended with a faint laugh. I stared at the screen, unable to move. It wasn't the betrayal that broke me. It was how gentle she sounded while doing it, like loving me had been an accident, and leaving me was mercy. I closed the laptop slowly, whispering, "I get it now." Then I sat in the dark, listening to the silence between us, the silence she filled with someone else's voice. The first recording ended at 2:13 a.m. I didn't sleep. I couldn't. Her voice kept looping in my head. He used to, but not anymore. By morning, I'd listened to it 10 times. By night, 20. Each time hurt a little less, but cut a little deeper. When I heard Evan laugh, something inside me cracked again. "Too kind for someone like him," he said in that confident, steady tone. Lena giggled. "Don't say that. It's true," he said. "You always give too much to people who drain you." My stomach turned. "That's me," I thought. "The one who drains her," she replied softly. "He doesn't mean to. He just doesn't grow." I paused the recording. "Doesn't grow?" I whispered. "What the hell does that even mean?" The silence of the room answered me. I pressed play again. Evan said, "You've outgrown him, Lena. It happens." Lena sighed. "Yeah, maybe it's time I stopped pretending." I pressed stop. My chest hurt like something alive inside me was clawing to get out. That evening I met Maya at our usual cafe. She took one look at me and frowned. "You look worse than last time," she said. "Thanks," I muttered. "Don't start with sarcasm." "What's going on?" "Nothing." "Nothing doesn't make you look like a ghost." I stared at the table. I listened to another one. Her tone sharpened. "Another what?" "Recording." Her eyes widened. "Aiden, no. I had to. No, you didn't." "Yes, I did." I needed to understand. She leaned closer. "Understand what?" "That she's cheating? You already know that." I needed to hear why. Maya shook her head. "There's no good why, Aiden. People betray because they can." She said I'm emotionally immature, I said quietly. Maya sighed. "You're emotionally honest. There's a difference. Not to her. She thinks it's weakness." "She's projecting," Maya said. "People like that always do." I stared out the window. "He said she's too kind for me," Maya scoffed. "Right, because stealing someone else's girlfriend screams kindness." I gave a hollow laugh. "You should hear how gentle they sound." "Like they're building something sacred out of my pain," she frowned. "You're torturing yourself." "I just want to know what I did wrong." "You existed in the wrong story," she said. I looked at her. "What does that mean?" "It means she wanted a hero who made her feel special. You just made her feel seen. There's a difference. And most people can't handle being seen." Her words hit like a slow punch. "She said she feels alive with him," I whispered. "Then let her chase that feeling until it dies," Maya said firmly. "You don't need to be the audience for it." "I recorded it, though," I said. "All of it," she blinked. "Why? I don't know. Maybe to remember how it happened. Or maybe to remind yourself it did. Maybe both." She crossed her arms. "And what now?" "I keep listening," she groaned. "Aiden, this kind of pain either destroys you or wakes you up. Choose fast." Later that night, I opened the next file. Evan's voice again. Calm, confident, the kind of voice that sounded like a hand on her shoulder. Evan. He doesn't sound like a bad guy. Lena. He's not. He just doesn't understand me anymore. Evan. You've grown. He's still in the same place, Lena. He worries too much. Always trying to fix me. Evan. Maybe you don't need fixing. My hands clenched. He doesn't even know you, I thought. He's known you for months. I've built years around you, I whispered. You let him think he's saving you. I replayed it again, slower, as if the tone would change, as if she'd suddenly defend me. But she didn't. Each word was like a nail hammered into a coffin I didn't know I was lying in. Maya called later that night. Did you sleep? No. Still listening? Yes. You're feeding your pain, she said. It's the only thing that feels real right now. She sighed. You can't heal in the same room that broke you. It's not a room, I said. It's a voice. That's worse. I stayed silent. Delete them, Aiden. I can't. Why? Because if I delete them, I'll start thinking it was all in my head. I need proof that I wasn't crazy, she paused. You're not crazy. You're just hurt. I feel like a stranger in my own life, I said. Like I'm watching someone else fall apart. That's grief, she said softly. It's supposed to feel that way, I rubbed my eyes. I don't even hate her. That'll come later. I don't want it to. Then don't let it, she said. Let it teach you instead. Teach me what? To stop apologizing for loving too deeply. Her voice broke something gentle inside me. Hours later, I sat in front of the laptop again, file after file. Her laughter became static. His words, noise, but my name still pierced through everything. Lena. Aiden doesn't get it. He holds on too tight, Evan, because he knows you're slipping, Lena. He always says he'll change, Evan. He won't. People like him never do. People like me. I paused the file and stared at the wall. People like me, I repeated. The ones who love without conditions, right? The room didn't answer. I whispered, maybe I really don't grow. I laughed then, bitter and hollow, for the first time. I didn't feel anger, just clarity. I understood now. The betrayal wasn't just theirs. It was mine, too, for pretending love could survive without truth. When Maya texted the next morning, I didn't answer. Instead, I opened the last recording of the night, Evan. If he finds out, what will you do? Lena. He won't. He still thinks I love him. That one hit different. Not because of what she said, but because she was right. I did think she loved me until I learned what betrayal sounded like, and it sounded exactly like her laugh echoing in someone else's world. Morning came and she greeted me like nothing had happened. Morning, Lena said, pouring coffee. Morning, I replied. My voice didn't shake anymore. She smiled faintly. You were up late again? Yeah, couldn't sleep. What's keeping you up? Just work stuff. She nodded, pretending to believe me. Don't stress too much, okay? I'll try. Inside, I almost laughed. Don't stress too much. That was her favorite line when she was the one creating the chaos. By evening, I cooked dinner, her favorite pasta. She walked in surprised. You cooked? Yeah, I said. Thought I'd do something nice. She smiled, setting her bag down. That's sweet. It's the least I can do, I said, stirring the sauce. How was work? She hesitated, then answered too quickly. Busy, so many meetings. Meetings, I repeated. Long ones? Yeah, long ones. Who with? Mostly Evan. The client stuff's a mess. I nodded. I'm sure it is. She didn't notice my tone. He's been such a help, honestly. I don't know how I'd manage without him. I forced a smile. Yeah, he sounds dependable. She laughed lightly. Don't be jealous. I'm not, I said. I just like knowing who I'm losing to. She blinked. What? Nothing. Eat before it gets cold. We ate in silence. The clinking of forks filled the space where love used to live. She said, This is good. Thanks, I said. I'm learning to keep things simple. She smiled. Simple's good. Yeah, I said. Simple doesn't lie. She frowned. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing, just talking. She looked away. You've been different lately. Better or worse? I don't know. Quieter. Maybe I'm just listening more. To what? To you, she hesitated. That's nice, I guess. It's new, I said. I'm trying something new. She nodded, forcing a small smile. Well, I appreciate it. I wanted to say, you won't for long. But I just said, good. After dinner, she went to shower. I opened my laptop. The recordings were still syncing. Her calls, her messages, everything stored neatly in folders named by date. I clicked one from the afternoon. Lena. He made dinner tonight. He's trying. Evan. That's sweet, but it's guilt, not love. Lena. Maybe. I feel bad lying. Evan. Then don't. You don't owe him anything. Lena. I just don't want to hurt him. Evan. You already have. I paused it. Staring at the screen, I whispered, You're right, Evan, she already has. Later, when she came out in her robe, she smiled. You okay? Yeah. You're quiet again, thinking. About what? How lies can sound like love if you repeat them enough. She laughed nervously. You say weird things sometimes. I know. Don't get dark on me, she said, touching my shoulder. I looked at her hand. The same hand that probably touched him now. I won't, she kissed me. The touch felt mechanical. I didn't pull away, but I didn't respond either. She whispered, I missed you. Yeah? Yeah, good to know, I said flatly. She frowned. You're cold. I'm tired. She studied my face, searching for emotion. Aiden, are we okay? Of course, I said, smiling faintly. We're perfect. Over the next few days, I played my part, smiled, cooked, kissed her forehead when she came home. I even texted her during lunch. Little hearts. Old habits, she replied slower each day. Maya noticed. You're pretending, she said over the phone. I'm observing. That's worse. No, it's safer. I see everything now. I don't feel it, I just see it, she sighed. You're scaring me. I'm calm, I said. Too calm, maybe. That's not calm, Aiden, that's numb. Maybe numb is what healing feels like at first. She went silent. What are you planning? Nothing. I'm just waiting for the truth to finish destroying itself. One night, Lena came home late. Her hair was messy, her perfume too strong. Long day? I asked. Yeah, the client meeting ran over. With Evan? Yeah, how is he? She froze. Fine, why? Just asking. You talk about him a lot, she shrugged. We work together. Right. Must be exhausting, all that teamwork, she sighed. Can we not do this? Sure, I said. We don't have to talk at all. She looked at me strangely. You're different. I'm learning to accept things, I said. Acceptance brings peace. She didn't answer. Later that night, she fell asleep on the couch, phone in hand. I watched her chest rise and fall, peaceful, unbothered. I opened her phone again. There it was, a new thread with Evan, Lena. I wish I could see you again tonight, Evan. Soon, he won't suspect a thing. Lena. He's been distant lately, Evan. Good. That makes it easier. My throat tightened. I stared at the messages until my reflection blurred in the screen. For a second, I wanted to wake her, to scream, to end it, but I didn't. Instead, I whispered, Sleep, you'll need it. I put the phone back, quietly. I sat beside her, just watching. Her face looked peaceful, innocent, like someone who believed she'd gotten away with it, and I realized I didn't want to stop her anymore. I wanted her to keep lying. Believe she was safe, because the quiet before the fire is always the most beautiful part. The next morning, she smiled like nothing happened. Morning, love. Morning, I said, sipping my coffee. She touched my hand. You're warm today. I stayed just to watch it burn, I whispered under my breath. What? Nothing. Just thinking about work, she nodded, walking away. I smiled to myself. The fire had already started. She just hadn't seen the smoke yet. It was past midnight again. The apartment was silent except for the soft click of my mouse. Another recording had finished syncing. I almost didn't open it, but curiosity feels a lot like pain pretending to be purpose. I pressed play. Lena's voice filled the speakers. Calm, almost sweet. I think I'll slowly let him go, she said. Evan laughed softly. You say that every week. This time I mean it, she replied. He'll never see it coming. My hand froze. I pressed pause. My reflection in the dark screen stared back, hollow, tired, still breathing. I whispered, You're right. I didn't see it coming. Then I hit play again. Evan said, You don't have to feel guilty, Lena. He's too naive to notice. Lena laughed. That's what makes it easier. Something in my chest shifted. Not pain, not heartbreak, just a clean, sharp break. I sat back, whispering to myself, Easier for you. Not anymore. The next morning, she made coffee like nothing had happened. Morning, she said cheerfully. Morning. You're quiet again. Didn't sleep much. Work? Something like that. She smiled faintly. You'll burn out one day if you keep overthinking. Maybe, I said. Maybe I'll just stop thinking altogether. She laughed, not realizing how serious I was. When she left for work, I opened my laptop, folders, recordings, screenshots, messages. I labeled everything, voice proof, text proof, images, backup. Every word she'd said about me, every sigh, every whispered lie. I compiled them like data points. This wasn't rage anymore. It was documentation. For weeks, I'd been the one breaking silently. But now I felt steady. For the first time in months, I wasn't reacting. I was planning. Maya called around noon. You sound different, she said. I am. Different how? Focused. That sounds dangerous. Not really. I'm just done crying. Done or numb? Both, I said. I'm building something. Building what? Closure, she sighed. Aiden, what are you doing? Collecting truth. You think that'll fix you? No, I said. But it'll make things fair. She went quiet. Just don't let fairness turn into revenge, I smiled faintly. Revenge requires hate. I don't have any left. That night, Lena called. Hey, I'm working late. With Evan? There was a pause. Yeah, he's helping finalize the report. Of course, I said. You sound weird. Just tired. Don't wait up, okay?
Sure. I hung up before she could add anything else. I stared at the call log as the timer stopped. 1 minute.
42 seconds. The same length as her patience lately. Then, I pressed record. Not her voice this time. Mine. I whispered into the mic. You said I wouldn't see it coming. You were right, but you'll hear it coming now. I saved the file as finalmessage.wav. By midnight, I had everything. 112 audio clips, 40 screenshots, 2 video calls. I zipped them into one folder, truth.zip. It was strange how quiet the world felt afterward. Like the noise had finally stopped fighting me. For the first time, I didn't feel weak. I felt aligned. When she came home, I was at my desk. Still awake? She asked. Yeah. Working again? Sort of. She leaned against the door. You've been distant lately. I've been paying attention. To what? To everything, she frowned. You sound creepy. Maybe honesty sounds creepy when you're used to lying. She laughed nervously. Okay, that was harsh, was it? I asked quietly. She shifted, uncomfortable. You're scaring me a little. Don't be scared, I said calmly. I'm past the part where I get angry. What part is this then? The part where I see clearly. She went to bed after that. I waited until her breathing steadied. Then I opened my messages. I typed, if honesty mattered, you'd have told me before I had to listen. I hit send. The scene notification appeared within seconds. She replied, What? What are you talking about? I didn't answer. A few minutes later, Aiden, are you okay? I smiled faintly. Perfect, I whispered to the empty room. The phone buzzed again. Did something happen? Yeah, I thought... You did, but I didn't type that. I just stared at the screen until her typing bubble stopped. Then I closed the chat and renamed the folder again. For when she asks why. The next morning, she looked at me carefully over breakfast. You were acting strange last night, she said. Was I? Yeah, you sent that weird message. Oh, I said, sipping my coffee. Don't worry about it. What did it mean? Nothing important. She looked unconvinced. Are you sure? Completely, she shrugged. Okay. By the way, I said casually, you said last night you'd slowly let me go. She froze. What? I smiled. Never mind. Just thought I heard something. Her eyes searched mine, but I gave her nothing back. She forced a small laugh. You're acting paranoid again. Maybe, I said, standing. But paranoia sounds a lot like truth in rehearsal. She frowned. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing, I said, walking away. In the doorway, I paused. She called after me. Aiden? Yeah? Are we okay? I turned, smiled faintly. You'll never see it coming. Her confusion followed me out the door. I woke up before sunrise. The folder sat on my desktop, truth zip, silent, waiting. I whispered, today's the day. No tremor in my voice, no second thoughts. Just calm. I opened my mail, created a new address, truth sender a proton mail, and attached the file. To HR department, Eclipse Marketing. I typed, then another. To client relations, Innovix Corp, and one more to an address I'd found on Evans. LinkedIn, Marissa Evans Outlook. I didn't know who she was until I scrolled through her. Profile, relationship status, engaged to Evan Brooks. I exhaled slowly. Perfect. I added a single line to every email, for your awareness. All voices are real. Then I clicked send. By 8 a.m., the city was awake. Lena was still in bed, scrolling through her phone. You're up early, she said. Couldn't sleep. Again? Yeah, weird dreams, she laughed. You and your dreams. I watched her for a second. Bare face, tired eyes, lies still asleep on her tongue. I made coffee, I said. Wow, she said, smiling. You're spoiling me lately. Guess I am, she sipped. You're quiet. I'm watching the world turn, I murmured. What? Nothing. Her phone buzzed once. Then again. Then 3 times in quick bursts, she frowned. Weird. Work group's blowing up already, I nodded. Busy morning. By 9:15, she was pacing the living room. Something's wrong, she said. HR just emailed me to come in immediately. Everything okay? I don't know. She grabbed her bag. They sounded serious. Maybe someone messed up a report. Maybe. She kissed my cheek absent-mindedly. Wish me luck? Always. The door closed behind her. I sat on the couch and turned on the news out of habit. My coffee was lukewarm, but I drank it anyway. At 10:32 a.m., my phone buzzed. Unknown number, I answered. Yeah? A female voice trembled through the line. Is this Aiden? Who's this? Marissa. Evan's fiancé. I didn't respond. You sent me those recordings, didn't you? I don't know what you're talking about, she sniffled. Don't lie. I recognize your voice in them. Then why ask? I just wanted to say thank you. I went silent, she continued, voice cracking. I was planning our wedding while he was sleeping with her. You saved me years of humiliation. I didn't do it for you, I said quietly. I know, but it still helped me. The line went dead. By noon, Maya called. What did you do? She asked without hello. Good morning to you, too. I'm serious, Aiden. Lena's office is on fire. Someone leaked her calls. Everyone's talking about it. Then truth travels fast. Are you crazy? Do you realize what you've done? I didn't lie. You destroyed her. No, I said calmly. She destroyed herself. I just hit send. Maya exhaled sharply. This isn't justice. Aiden, it's scorched earth. Maybe that's what it needed. She'll lose her job. Then she'll have time to reflect. You sound soulless. Soulless people don't feel calm, I said. I do. She went quiet for a moment. You need help. I had help, I said. From her and Evan. They helped me wake up, Maya whispered. I don't even recognize you anymore. That makes 2 of us. She hung up. At 1:05 p.m., Lucas showed up at my door. He rarely visited unannounced. You did it, didn't you? He asked as soon as I opened. I gestured him in. Coffee? No, answer me. Yes, I said. I did. He closed his eyes. Why? Because truth was rotting in my hands. I needed to drop it somewhere. He sat down. Revenge never fixes anything. It wasn't revenge. It was data correction. You're not a machine. Machines don't bleed for liars, I said. He looked at me long and hard. You think you've won? I don't believe in winning. Just balancing the scale. He shook his head. You'll regret this. I already regretted trusting her. That was enough for one lifetime. He stood to leave. Whatever peace you think you'll get, it won't last. Maybe not, I said. But at least it's quiet now. By 3 p.m., Lena called. Her voice was ragged, breathless. Aiden, what did you do? Hi to you too. Don't play games with me. I don't play anymore, she sobbed. They played the recordings in the meeting room. In front of everyone! Did they sound familiar? Aiden, please tell me you didn't send them. Would it matter if I did? Yes, it would ruin me. I smiled to myself. You did that already. You don't understand. I understand perfectly. You wanted to let me go slowly. I just sped things up. You're cruel. No, I said quietly. I'm precise. She started to say something, then stopped. Aiden, I'm begging you, if you ever loved me. I did, I cut in. And that's exactly why I had to end it like this. Silence. Only her shaking breath. Then she whispered, You ruined both of us. I set us free, I said, and hung up. By evening, social media was glowing with screenshots. Anonymous accounts shared audio snippets. Her laugh, his voice, my name. Hashtags formed, memes spread. People love a tragedy as long as it isn't theirs. I sat by the window with a cup of coffee, watching the sun slip behind the buildings. The phone kept buzzing. Maya, Lena, unknown numbers, but I didn't answer. The noise outside felt distant, like thunder on another planet. Around 9 p.m., Lucas called again. You still feel nothing? He asked. Nothing, I said. Not even relief? No, just silence, he sighed. That's the scariest part. When silence feels like peace. Maybe it is peace, or the start of something worse. Either way, I said, it's mine. He didn't argue. At 10:47 p.m., I opened my email again. One new message blinked in bold, from Kakumim. Marissa Evans, subject. He's gone. I opened it. He left the city. His company fired him. He didn't even say goodbye. Whatever you wanted, you got it. I hope it helps. I closed the laptop. I looked around the room, same walls, same silence, but something felt emptier. The truth had finally escaped its cage, and all that remained was the echo of its release. I whispered, Justice served. No cheering, no music, no tears. Just the sound of coffee cooling beside me and a world quiet enough to hear my own breathing. I woke up before sunrise. The folder sat on my desktop, truth zip, silent, waiting. I whispered, Today's the day. No tremor in my voice, no second thoughts. Just calm. I opened my mail, created a new address, truth sender Proton Mail, and attached the file. To HR department, Eclipse Marketing. I typed, then another. To client relations, Innovix Corp, and one more to an address I'd found on Evans. LinkedIn, Marissa Evans Youtlook.I. Didn't know who she was until I scrolled through her. Profile, relationship status, engaged to Evan Brooks. I exhaled slowly. Perfect. I added a single line to every email. For your awareness. All voices are real. Then I clicked send. By 8 a.m., the city was awake. Lena was still in bed, scrolling through her phone. You're up early, she said. Couldn't sleep. Again? Yeah, weird dreams, she laughed. You and your dreams. I watched her for a second, bare-faced, tired eyes, lies still asleep on her tongue. I made coffee, I said. Wow, she said, smiling. You're spoiling me lately. Guess I am, she sipped. You're quiet. I'm watching the world turn, I murmured. What? Nothing. Her phone buzzed once. Then again. Then 3 times in quick bursts. She frowned. Weird. Work group's blowing up already, I nodded. Busy morning. By 9:15, she was pacing the living room. Something's wrong, she said. HR just emailed me to come in immediately. Everything okay? I don't know. She grabbed her bag. They sounded serious. Maybe someone messed up a report. Maybe. She kissed my cheek absent-mindedly. Wish me luck, always. The door closed behind her. I sat on the couch and turned on the news out of habit. My coffee was lukewarm, but I drank it anyway. At 10:32 a.m., my phone buzzed. Unknown number, I answered. Yeah? A female voice trembled through the line. Is this Aiden? Who's this? Marissa. Evan's fiancé. I didn't respond. You sent me those recordings, didn't you? I don't know what you're talking about, she sniffled. Don't lie. I recognize your voice in them. Then why ask? I just wanted to say thank you. I went silent. She continued, voice cracking. I was planning our wedding while he was sleeping with her. You saved me years of humiliation. I didn't do it for you, I said quietly. I know, but it still helped me. The line went dead. By noon, Maya called. What did you do? She asked without hello. Good morning to you, too. I'm serious, Aiden. Lena's office is on fire. Someone leaked her calls. Everyone's talking about it. Then truth travels fast. Are you crazy? Do you realize what you've done? I didn't lie. You destroyed her. No, I said calmly. She destroyed herself. I just hit send. Maya exhaled sharply. This isn't justice. Aiden, it's scorched earth. Maybe that's what it needed. She'll lose her job. Then she'll have time to reflect. You sound soulless. Soulless people don't feel calm, I said. I do. She went quiet for a moment. You need help. I had help, I said. From her and Evan. They helped me wake up, Maya whispered. I don't even recognize you anymore. That makes two of us. She hung up. At 1:05 p.m., Lucas showed up at my door. He rarely visited unannounced. You did it, didn't you? He asked as soon as I opened. I gestured him in. Coffee? No, answer me. Yes, I said. I did. He closed his eyes. Why? Because truth was rotting in my hands. I needed to drop it somewhere. He sat down. Revenge never fixes anything. It wasn't revenge. It was data correction. You're not a machine. Machines don't bleed for liars, I said. He looked at me long and hard. You think you've won? I don't believe in winning. Just balancing the scale. He shook his head. You'll regret this. I already regretted trusting her. That was enough for one lifetime. He stood to leave. Whatever peace you think you'll get, it won't last. Maybe not, I said. But at least it's quiet now. By 3 p.m., Lena called. Her voice was ragged, breathless. Aiden, what did you do? Hi to you too. Don't play games with me. I don't play anymore, she sobbed. They played the recordings in the meeting room. In front of everyone! Did they sound familiar? Aiden, please tell me you didn't send them. Would it matter if I did? Yes, it would ruin me. I smiled to myself. You did that already. You don't understand. I understand perfectly. You wanted to let me go slowly. I just sped things up. You're cruel. No, I said quietly. I'm precise. She started to say something, then stopped. Aiden, I'm begging you, if you ever loved me, I did, I cut in. And that's exactly why I had to end it like this. Silence. Only her shaking breath, then she whispered, You ruined both of us. I set us free, I said, and hung up. By evening, social media was glowing with screenshots. Anonymous accounts shared audio snippets. Her laugh, his voice, my name. Hashtags formed, memes spread. People love a tragedy as long as it isn't theirs. I sat by the window with a cup of coffee, watching the sun slip behind the buildings. The phone kept buzzing. Maya, Lena, unknown numbers, but I didn't answer. The noise outside felt distant, like thunder on another planet. Around 9 p.m., Lucas called again. You still feel nothing? He asked. Nothing, I said. Not even relief? No, just silence, he sighed. That's the scariest part. When silence feels like peace. Maybe it is peace, or the start of something worse. Either way, I said, it's mine. He didn't argue. At 10:47 p.m., I opened my email again. One new message blinked in bold, from Tao. Marissa Evans, subject. He's gone. I opened it. He left the city. His company fired him. He didn't even say goodbye. Whatever you wanted, you got it. I hope it helps. I closed the laptop. I looked around the room. Same walls, same silence, but something felt emptier. The truth had finally escaped its cage. And all that remained was the echo of its release. I whispered, Justice served. No cheering, no music, no tears. Just the sound of coffee cooling beside me and a world quiet enough to hear my own breathing. It had been 3 weeks since the emails. Silence had become my favorite sound. Then the calls started. The first one came at dawn. I let it ring. The second came at lunch. I let it ring again. By the 10th, I turned the phone face down. Maya texted, She's been asking everyone where you are. I replied, Tell her nowhere. 2 days later, the doorbell rang. I opened it. Lena stood there, eyes red, mascara bleeding down her face. She whispered, You won't even pick up? I just did, I said. She tried to smile. That's not funny. Wasn't meant to be. She stepped inside without asking. The smell of her perfume filled the room, same one I used to love. I just want to talk, she said. Talk, I said. That's all you ever did. Her lips trembled. Please don't start with that. I'm not starting anything, I said, sitting down. You ended it, she stood in front of me. I lost everything, Aiden. My job, my friends, everything. I know. You think that makes you right? No, I said calmly. It makes life fair, she blinked hard. You did this. I released what already existed. You humiliated me. You humiliated yourself. I just gave honesty a microphone. She covered her face. You have no idea how much I've suffered. I can imagine, I said. It's strange when the mirror finally talks back. She lowered her hands. I didn't mean to hurt you. You meant to keep me blind. That's worse, tears spilled again. I was confused. No, I said quietly. You were comfortable, she shook her head. You sound so cold. I had to freeze something to stop the bleeding. She stepped closer. I miss you. You miss the version of me that didn't know. I miss us. There's no us left, Lena. Her voice cracked. You can't just erase years like that. I didn't erase them, I said. You overwrote them. She fell silent for a moment, then whispered, I think about you every night. That's your punishment, I said. She winced. You're cruel. I'm honest. She wiped her eyes. I deserve your anger, but please, say something real. I looked at her. You want something real? She nodded. I already forgave you, I said. She froze. What? The day I decided to stop loving you. That's when forgiveness became easy. She took a shaky step back. You don't mean that. I do. Her voice dropped. Then what am I supposed to do? Live, I said. That's what you wanted, freedom. You finally have it, she laughed bitterly. Freedom? Everyone hates me. Evan disappeared. My boss called me a disgrace. Karma doesn't send apologies, I said. It just keeps receipts. Her eyes searched my face. You're enjoying this. I'm observing it. You can't tell me you don't feel satisfaction. I don't feel anything. Not even pity? No, she sank into a chair. You're not the man I knew. Exactly, I said. That's the point, she whispered. Do you ever think about the good times? I used to, I said. Now they sound like background noise before an explosion. She looked around the apartment, her gaze landing on the coffee table where the laptop used to sit. You still have the recordings? No. You deleted them? I didn't need them anymore. Why? Because I memorized every word. Her voice trembled. I'm sorry. I know. Do you believe me? I believe you're sorry you got caught. She flinched. That's not fair. Neither was loving you. She stood suddenly. I came here to make things right. You can't. I can try. Try for who? For you, I shook my head. I don't exist in your story anymore. She grabbed my arm. Please, Aiden, I need you to hate me less. I looked at her hand on mine. I don't hate you. Then what do you feel? Nothing, I said softly. And that's worse. She let go as if I'd burned her. I can't believe you'd rather feel nothing than forgive me, she whispered. I already forgave you, I repeated. You're just not listening. Her voice cracked again. Then what's left for me? Whatever you build from the ashes. You're cruel, she said again. No, I said. I'm consequence. She looked up, eyes shining with rage and grief. You wanted to destroy me. I wanted the truth to live outside my head. Congratulations, she spat. It does, everyone knows it now. Good, I said. Now we're finally equal. She stared at me for a long time, breathing unevenly. You'll regret this. Maybe, I said. But not today. She turned toward the door, stopped halfway and whispered, Do you ever miss who we were? Every day, I said. But missing isn't the same as wanting back. She nodded slowly. You've changed. I had to, I said. You taught me how. Her tears came again. I wish you'd yell or cry or something. I ran out of both. She stood there for another minute, then whispered, Goodbye. Goodbye. Lena! The door clicked shut behind her. The apartment fell quiet again. I looked at the place she'd stood. A small puddle of tears stained the floor. I whispered to no one. That's all that's left now. Evidence. My phone buzzed once. A message from her. I'll never forgive myself. I typed back, then we're finally even. I set the phone down, walked to the window, and watched the evening light crawl across the buildings. For the first time in months, I didn't feel broken, just empty in a way that felt like peace. I stared at the blank page for an hour before writing her name. Lena. That alone felt heavier than ink should. I said quietly, "Let's try this again." The pen shook a little. Then the words came out the way thoughts do when you stop forcing them. "Dear Lena, I once loved you more than I loved myself." That was the mistake. I paused, speaking the sentence aloud. That was the mistake. It sounded final, like a verdict. The door creaked. Dr. Rowan stepped into the small office space I'd been using at the clinic. "Still writing?" He asked. "Trying," I said. "It's easier to confess to paper than people." He smiled faintly. "Paper doesn't interrupt." "Or lie," I said. He sat across from me. "What do you hope this letter does?" "I'm not sure. Maybe it'll drain what's left." "You're not sending it?" "No." "Why not?" Because she'd read the words, not the meaning. "And I'm tired of explaining myself." He nodded slowly. "Then write it for you." "That's the plan." He stood. "I'll leave you to it. Remember, closure doesn't always need an audience." "I know," I said. "That's why I'm burning it when I'm done." He gave a small approving smile. "Good. Fire can be honest. When he left, I kept writing. I used to think love meant holding on until your hands bled. Now I know it means letting go before you cut yourself open again." I whispered, "That's better. You said I was too emotional, too intense, too much." Maybe I was. Maybe that was the part of me that still believed love could fix people. It couldn't fix you, and it almost killed me trying. The words looked calm, but I could still feel the old sting underneath them. I leaned back, letting the pen rest. "Some people only teach us how to stop bleeding," I said aloud, testing the line. It felt true. Later that evening, I met Dr. Rowan again. He asked, "How does it feel, seeing your thoughts in front of you?" "Lighter," I said. "But also sad." "Why sad?" "Because it's like burying someone who's still alive." He nodded. "That's what healing feels like sometimes. A funeral without a body. I keep wondering if revenge made me a worse person." He shook his head. "Revenge didn't make you worse. It made you visible to yourself. I hurt her. She hurt you first. That doesn't balance it." "No," he said. "It just proves you're human," I sighed. "Then what was it for?" "For release," he said softly. "Justice is what the world gives. Release is what you give yourself." "I think I'm starting to understand," he smiled. "Then you're almost done with her." Back home, I lit a candle beside the paper. The wax smell reminded me of the lake where we'd met. Summer, calm water, laughter that used to mean forever. I started reading the letter out loud. "You once told me I was too quiet. You said my silence scared you. Now I realize silence is where truth lives. I recorded your voice for proof, but it was your silence that taught me more than your words ever could." I stopped. "That line stays," I said to the candle. "I don't hate you, Lena. I don't love you either. You just happened. You were the storm I mistook for warmth, and I'm finally walking out of the rain." The flame flickered like it was nodding in agreement. My phone buzzed. It was Maya. "You disappeared again," she said. "I'm finishing something." "What?" "A letter. For her?" "For me," she sighed. "Is it angry?" "No, honest." "Planning to send it?" "No." "Good, sending it would just start another war. I'm done with wars." "That's new." "Yeah," I said softly. "Peace sounds weird at first." She was quiet for a moment. "Are you really okay?" "I think so," she laughed lightly. "That's the closest you've come to yes in months. Then maybe it's yes. Proud of you. Idiot. Thanks. Don't set yourself on fire while burning it." "I'll try not to," I said. When night fell, I drove to the lake. The air smelled like wet leaves and old memories. I sat on the same bench where she once leaned on my shoulder. The moon hung over the water, quiet and uninterested. Perfect company. I unfolded the letter and whispered the last line. "I forgive you." Not because you deserve peace, but because I do. I stared at the words for a long time, then I struck a match. The flame hissed, hungry and alive. The paper curled, blackened, and turned to glowing ash. The reflection of fire danced on the water, small and trembling. I whispered, "There it is." The end. My phone buzzed again. Dr. Rowan. He asked, "Did you burn it?" "Yeah, how do you feel?" "Empty," I said. "But not hollow, just cleared," he chuckled softly. "That's peace. It's quieter than you expect." "Yeah, any regrets?" "No, just lessons." "Which ones?" "That silence is louder than lies," he paused. "And what about love?" "It's not supposed to hurt this long," I said. "If it does, it's not love anymore, it's memory." "Then you're free," he said. I smiled. "Maybe." After the call, I walked to the edge of the lake. The ashes floated near the shore like tiny gray wings. I said softly, "Fly away. You've served your purpose." The wind carried them across the water until they disappeared. For the first time, I didn't imagine her beside me. No voice. No ghost, just me, and that was enough.